There's a lot of history with this deposit, and and I'll get into that. So it's a really exciting opportunity. The company is new. It was really founded on this anchor asset, the McCabe high grade gold and silver mine. That has been in production as recently as the 1990s, and I'll get into the history there. But yeah, that was the anchor asset. So high level, our company. We've done a strategic acquisition. It's on private ground. It's a past producer. It's high grade. It's open in all directions, and it's been dormant for over 30 years. In fact, close to 40 years. And for us, it has to check the boxes for us to get involved. We don't get involved in many things. It's usually one thing every 5 or 6 years, and hopefully we have an exit. So for here, the plan is very similar to that. Is we found a very interesting asset. It checks the boxes in terms of being on private ground, the ability to permit, a history of production, a known historic resource done by world class folks at the time, and open in all directions. So we've taken what's nearly 1 million ounces in historic estimates, and I'll get into more of the details there, over 800 meters, and we've assembled 10 times that ground just on private ground. And I'll get to it, but we have 14 historic shafts across this project just on our private ground. We have another 4,000 acres of BLM ground, Bureau of Land Management ground, that we get to explore. But that's the crux of it. We're a past producer. It's high grade. The system has multiple structures, and I'll get into the geology later on. Multiple parallel high grade structures, incredible infrastructure. You drive north 2 hours from Phoenix, and you go into basically across from the town of Dewey Humboldt, where the Dewey Humboldt smelter was. Which has nothing to do with us, but it's in the vicinity. It's in the area. But as I mentioned, on Monday, we announced the acquisition of three past producing high grade silver mines, which are on strike between the McCabe mine and the Iron King mine. So they haven't been operated since the 30s. They've been dormant and in private hands. We've sampled them at surface, and our intention obviously is to drill them. So you'll see in some areas these shafts will go down as deep as 500 feet in that area. They would hit the sulfide mineralization. They could no longer recover it by gravity and mercury. So they would move on and they would go to the next and they take it down again. So what we view this is as, yeah, there's lots of past producing mines on our property. There still are. These mines have only been mined in the oxide to 150 meters. So the opportunity is to expand the known historic resource in all directions and in multiple structures, and to show the market that this isn't 1 million ounces of high grade. This has the opportunity to be many millions of ounces of high grade, on private ground with second to none infrastructure in a known mining camp. We know it's open on strike because there's past producing and drill results on strike. So that's why I'm very excited by the opportunity. For shareholders, for investors, if I walked in, with 1 million ounces of 43,101 ounces, it wouldn't be a 60 million Canadian market cap. So the opportunity is for folks like us that hopefully can get ahead of the curve, is to say there's a lot of gold here. So the head grade wasn't 11.7 grams. The head grade was closer to 15 grams. So that's over the 800 meters. So what we've done is we've consolidated, well, nearly 6 times that strike length with past producing mines all across the structure. So for us as explorationists, as as entrepreneurs, what we're putting together here is a story that, well, look, we've got the opportunity for investors is Reed right? Is Reed and the team right? Are they going to be able to show the market that there's more than let's say we could show the market there's 1 million ounces of high grade. If we could do that, I believe the stock is dramatically undervalued based on the comparables. So I'm going to just go back where we are. We've got three projects essentially on this property. We've got the gold project with McCabe as the anchor. We've got the copper project down here, which we grassroots discovered. It's not a deposit, it's an exploration target. And these past producing mines, the silver zone, the silver area of the Eagle Silver Zone, we just entered into a deal to acquire, and we announced that on Monday. This is a phenomenal, I believe, exploration story. We've put, you can see these traces here. These are our first 6 holes that we've put in to show that it's, there's a fault here. We've learned there's a fault here, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But there's a fault here that's been engaged. We have a lot of high net worth individuals around this name, and when I asked these guys, I said we're going to do this silver deal, and should we do a financing? And they said, don't worry about it. We're supportive. So, look, obviously we want to broaden our shareholder base because we want liquidity. Acres of private ground, 4,000 acres of BLM ground. We've consolidated a district. We've ran geophysics. We've improved the roads. We've got 10 drill pads. We got a drill turning, and we've raised almost $14 million. And we did that from March 14th, PDAC 25 to today. We've done all that. So we're public now. We got a currency, and I'm getting the questions like I'm getting from you, from shareholders and from others is why is this 60 million market cap? Let the truth machine do the work, and pray for good results, right? Like, Mother Nature's been at work here, and the truth machine, and ideally we get it right and we hit some good zones and we show there's more and more and more, and success will breed success, and we'll get access to capital, and then we'll get more drills going, and then we want to know what we got, just like everybody else. We got a ton of smoke, and we want to see what we have, and then we'll figure it out from there. But what we do, we're going to do the best decision for our shareholders. I can tell you that.
Very good presentation, I thought. What feedback you have, EB? What do you
Look,
got?
it looks, yeah, I mean, it looks better. I mean, honestly, the one thing that really jumped out to me, and having served on a lot of boards with these companies and dealt with a lot of frustration, and if they do that, I don't think it even matters how much they spend, because they're not going to spend until there's something to spend on. It's just great. It's great. So 60 million Canadian market cap, like 45 million US or something like that. That, to me, that seems like pretty low risk for the setup.
He can get lots of people excited, and he's got the sales ability to get people excited.
I love the geology. I love the historical part of it. I love the old timers dug down this deep and they left everything else below it. It all makes perfect sense, and it all comes together. This is a very tellable story. It's a very saleable kind of story, and it has the benefit of being like a real story. There's like geology there, and it's doable.
Impressed with the whole thing, from the presentation, which was excellent. I almost never buy stocks unless it's on a financing, but I'm tempted to buy this in the open market.